Everyone, we will see today's LeetCode problem. This is minimum number of rows to burst balloons. So in this problem, it is a similar like the previous problem, merge intervals, right? So let's see the medium one. There are some spherical balloons stable into flat wall that represent the xy plane. The balloons are represented at 2D integer array points, and where points is x start to x end, where its denote horizontal diameter means the balloon diameter is from x start to x end, means the diameter of balloon is from x start to x end, which value is given, and we don't have y coordinates of the balloons. So the arrow shot directly vertically in the positive y direction from different points of x-axis, and if the balloon is between x start and x end, means if the arrow shot at x and the balloon diameter is between them, then it get burst, right? So there is no limit to number of arrows that can be shot. So we need to find the minimum number of arrows that must be shot to burst all balloons, right? So if the diameter, so we need to find the maximum number of minimum number of arrows that must be shot to burst all balloons. So here it is given that the diameter of all the balloons is given from x start and x end point. So if we see first example, so here if we see, then for 1 to 6 and this 2 to 8, if we shot at 5 at point 5, then we can burst all these two balloons, right? So at so from 2 to 6, right, it's maximum 2 and its minimum 6. From 2 to 6, if we from 2 to any point from 2 to 6, if we shot an arrow, we can burst this both balloons, right? So let's see if I can also include this 7 12. So if I see, this 7 is a starting point, but for these two balloons to burst at same time, we need maximum point less than 6, right? So we can't include this in both of these balloons, right? So we need one arrow for these two. Now again we will see this. Now second arrow for 7 12. Now for 7 12 and 10 16, if we see, then from 10 to 12 both have common coordinates, so we need one arrow only for these two balloons, 7 12 and 10 16. So total we need two arrows, right? So if you see that if you observe that you can see that we need to just merge it, right? We need to only find the two coordinates which is common in between both between balloons, right? And according to that we will increment the rows, right? So this is just like a merge interval problem, so we can do that as well because we have done previous problem as same. So for that we just need to sort it according to its starting point, so that it becomes, we can simply apply that merge intervals problem, right? So if we see this example, so for this 1 2 and 2 3 have common coordinate 2, so we need one arrow for this. Then again 3 and 3 4, then we need a second arrow, and 4 and 5 we need a third arrow. But if you see, for 1 2 and 2 3 we need only one, and for 3 2 and 4 5 we only need one, so it becomes total 2, right? So because 4 is common between this both and 2 is common between both, so for this 2 will be the answer. So what will we do? What I can see, observe that I need to just take maximum of the current points 0 and the previous point 0, right? And minimum of current this current 1 and the previous one, right? Why? Because if you see 1 6 and 2 8, then the starting point from will be 1 comma 2, which is maximum, because 2 to 6, because with before and after 2 to 6 we can't bust both of the values, so we need to find this max and minimum, right? So this will both be the only this is the main logic here. After all, it is a merge intervals, so we will solve this question like that. If you don't have one C, then you can refer to the previous videos. So this is n time points dot size. Let's take a variable just we have taken previously in merge intervals. Let's start from firstly we need to also sort the points, because that's the whole logic here. Without sorting we can't determine whether it is greater than or something or not, so we need to sort it. Now I will see this current point, right? This point I0 should be less than equals to temp of 1, right? This current should this previous ending value should be greater than equals to this current starting point. Then it can only be the overlapping condition, right? We have already seen in merge intervals, right? So for that what I can do is I will simply store max of temp 0 and current points I0, right? And yeah, this both I'm doing this only both. And for temp 1 I will store minimum of temp 1 and points I1, right? And if we don't get, take an arrow answer, right? If we don't get if the point I0 is greater than temp 1, so we need to take an extra arrow, so we will increment the count of arrow, right? Let's write it, count of arrow for specifically, right? So we will increment the count of arrow and we will initialize temp to points current pointer. So at last I also need to include this count of arrow, because there is one can be case that at last there will be a element left where we haven't used this arrow, so at last I also need to increment this arrow, because that will left the one case as, and now we will return this simply, right? Or we can initialize this from 1. Both of this is correct. Either you initialize with its 1, or either if you initialize with 0, then you should need to count this array, right? Let's run. Yeah, let's submit it. Yeah, we have passed this arrow, this question. So if we talk about time complexity, then it will be O of n, and the space complexity is only of 1, because we are not taking any extra space or something, just taking an int temp, which is not necessary, because we can simply modify these points also, right? I think this line is also don't need, because this max will be always the temp 0 value, right? So we also not need this run, right? So I think this will be let's try run this. I think this line also not need. Yeah, right, we also don't need this, right? Thank you.